Hello friends, welcome to Prashant IAS. So friends, in the last class we were discussing about the powers and position of the Prime Minister of India. And from this class we will continue our discussion further. So friends, now we will discuss about the second power of the Prime Minister of India. So in yesterday's class, we have already discussed the first power of the Prime Minister of India. So in this class, we will continue our discussion with the second power of the Prime Minister of India. So friends, now please see on the board. Now you can see that this is the diagram of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. The upper smaller circle represents Rajya Sabha and the lower bigger circle represents Lok Sabha. Okay, so the upper smaller circle is Rajya Sabha and lower bigger circle is Lok Sabha. Now friends, I have explained you in the previous classes that the how government is formed in India. Okay, so now our question is that how the government is formed in India. So I have already explained you that the party which gets majority in Lok Sabha, that forms the government. Okay, so for forming the government, majority is only seen in Lok Sabha. Okay, so for forming the government, we are only concerned about Lok Sabha. Now friends, how many seats are there in Lok Sabha? So we all know that there are total 543 seats in Lok Sabha. And for forming the government, what is needed? Absolute majority is needed. Absolute majority means more than 50% of the total membership of the house. Okay, so what is the meaning of absolute majority? So absolute majority means more than 50% of the total membership of the house. So the total membership of the house is 543. And what is the 50% of 543? So the 50% of 543 is 271.5. And for forming the government, we need a number more than that. So we need 272 MPs. Okay, so the party who will get 272 or more seats in Lok Sabha, that party will form the government. Now friends, let's suppose that there are four political parties: Party A, Party B, Party C, and Party D. And out of these four political parties, Party A got 280 seats in Lok Sabha. Okay, so how many seats Party A got? Party A got 280 seats in Lok Sabha. Okay, so and definitely we know that this number 280 is more than 272. Okay, so we can say that 280 is more than 272. So now it is decided that Party A will form the government. Okay, now definitely Party B, Party C, Party D, they will also get some seats in Lok Sabha. Okay, but here we are only concerned about Party A. So let's suppose that Party A got 280 seats in Lok Sabha, and if 280 is a number which is more than 272, so definitely now it is decided that Party A will form the government. Now friends, let's suppose that Party B got 100 seats, Party C got 150 seats, and Party D got 13 seats. And when you will sum up all these, so the result will come as 543. Okay, so there are total 543 seats in Lok Sabha. Okay, and out of these four political parties, Party A got 280 seats, and only number 280 is greater than 272. So now Party A will form the government. Okay, so who will form the government? Party A will form the government. So friends, first of all, for forming the government in India, what is decided? The party is decided. Okay, so the party which will get more than 272 seats, okay, which will get 272 or more than seats in Lok Sabha, that party will form the government. So our first conclusion is that first of all, who is decided? First of all, the party is decided that this party will form the government. Okay, so first of all, it is decided that Party A will form the government. So what is decided first? So first of all, the political parties decided that which political party will form the government. Now friends, what President of India will do? Okay, now what President of India will do? Now President of India will call the leader of Party A. Okay, Now President of India will call the leader of party A to become the Prime Minister of India. Okay, so now President of India will call the leader of party A to become the Prime Minister of India. So after the party is decided, then who is decided? Then Prime Minister is decided, that this person will become the Prime Minister. And friends, it is the power of the Prime Minister to choose his ministerial colleagues. Okay, so now Prime Minister will choose that which member of parliaments will become the ministers. Okay, for example, let's suppose these all blue dots, they all are the members of Lok Sabha. Okay, so these all blue dots are the members of Lok Sabha. Okay, and this big and these all green dots, they are the members of Rajya Sabha. Okay, they are the members of Rajya Sabha. And this big red dot, this dot is Prime Minister. Okay, so this dot is Prime Minister. So first of all, the party is decided that political party A will form the government, and then the leader of political party A will become the Prime Minister. Now friends, now please please pay attention here. Now it is the special right of the Prime Minister. Okay, so I am saying it is the special right of the Prime Minister, means it is the power of the Prime Minister to choose his ministers. Now Prime Minister will choose that who will become the ministers. Okay, so it is the special right of the Prime Minister, it is the special power of the Prime Minister to choose his ministers. So now Prime Minister will choose that who will become the ministers. So for example, this Prime Minister has chosen that this will become minister, this will become minister, this will become minister, this will become minister, and they all will become ministers. And these members of Rajya Sabha will also become ministers. These members of Rajya Sabha will become ministers. These two will become ministers. Okay, so now Prime Minister has the special power to choose his ministers. Now Prime Minister has the special right to choose the ministers. So then who will choose the ministers? Then Prime Minister will choose the ministers, and all the ministers will together form Council of Ministers. All the ministers will together form Council of Ministers. So this red circle represents Council of Ministers. Okay, so friends, on the basis of the above discussion, we can conclude that it is the Prime Minister who makes Council of Minister. Okay, so who makes Council of Minister? Prime Minister of India makes Council of Ministers. Why? Because it is the special right, it is the special power of the Prime Minister to choose his ministers. And friends, after choosing the minister, then what Prime Minister will do? Then Prime Minister will distribute different portfolios. Portfolios means different departments. Okay, so after choosing the ministers, then Prime Minister will distribute different departments. Department means different ministries to the ministers. For example, now Prime Minister has decided that this person will become Home Minister. Okay, so if Prime Minister has decided, then he will become Home Minister. For example, Prime Minister has decided that this person will become Defense Minister, so he will become Defense Minister. So it is the special right, it is the special power of the Prime Minister to choose his ministers and to distribute ministries with to the ministers. So friends, this is the second power of the Prime Minister of India. So friends, now the next question arises that who calls the cabinet meetings? So I have told you in the previous classes that, for example, this is Council of Ministers. So Council of Ministers is a very big body. There are many ministers in the Council of Ministers. So it is not possible to conduct healthy debate and discussion in the Council of Ministers. So a compact and a small body is chosen within the Council of Ministers, which is called as cabinet. Okay, so a compact and a small body is chosen within Council of Ministers, which is called as cabinet. And this cabinet meets regularly, and the meeting of this cabinet is known as cabinet meeting. Okay, so the meeting of all the cabinet ministers is known as cabinet meeting. And what happens in cabinet meeting? So practically all the decisions are taken in cabinet meeting. Okay, so all the decisions for the country are taken in cabinet meeting. Moreover, all the policies are decided in the cabinet meeting, and all the bills which are to be laid before the parliament, they are decided in the cabinet meetings only. Means cabinet meetings are very important for the administration of the country. So all the decisions for the country are only taken in the cabinet meetings. So now my question is that who calls the cabinet meetings? So the answer to this question is that Prime Minister of India calls the cabinet meetings. Okay, so who calls the cabinet meetings? So Prime Minister of India calls the cabinet meetings. Friends, it is the Prime Minister of India alone who calls the cabinet meetings and decides upon the agenda of the cabinet meeting. So first of all, Prime Minister of India calls cabinet meeting, and after calling the cabinet meeting, then what Prime Minister does? Then he decides the agenda of the meeting. Agenda of the meeting means what is the goal, what is the aim of today's meeting. Okay, so after calling the meeting, it is the Prime Minister alone who decides that what is the agenda of today's meeting, means what is the aim, what is the goal of today's meeting. Okay, for example, today's meeting is called for deciding a bill, for taking a major decision, or for making a major policy. Okay, so Prime Minister decides that what is the agenda of today's meeting. Okay, and friends, we can conclude that through cabinet meetings, Prime Minister of India gives general direction to the administration of the country. How? Because in cabinet meetings it is decided, in cabinet meetings only all the important decisions for the country are taken, all the important administrative decisions for the country are taken, all the important administrative policies are make. Okay, all the important policies for the country are made. Okay, so through cabinet meetings, Prime Minister of India gives general direction to the administration of the country. Why? Because it is the Prime Minister only who decides the agenda of the meeting, it is the Prime Minister only who calls the meeting, and it is the Prime Minister only who chairs the meeting. So he is the chairman of these meetings. So Prime Minister is the chairperson, Prime Minister is the chairman of cabinet meetings. Okay, so Prime Minister can give general direction to the administration of the country through cabinet meetings. And why? Because in cabinet meetings only all the important decisions are made, all the important administrative policies are made. Okay, so through cabinet meeting, Prime Minister has the power to give general direction to the administration of the country. So this is the third power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, then the next question arises that who is the chief spokesman of the Council of Ministers. Okay, so who is the chief spokesman of the Council of Ministers? So first of all, what is the meaning of chief spokesman? Okay, so first of all, what is the meaning of chief spokesman? So chief spokesman means the person who speaks, on behalf of entire Council of Ministers. Okay, so the person who speaks on behalf of entire Council of Ministers, or in other words, we can say that the person who represents the entire Council of Ministers, means who is the representative of entire Council of Ministers. Okay, so what is the answer to this question? So the answer to this question is Prime Minister of the country. So friends, Prime Minister of the country is the chief spokesman of the Council of Ministers. So friends, this is the fourth power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, let's move further. So friends, for example, let's suppose this is the Prime Minister of India. Okay, so let's suppose this is the Prime Minister of India and this is the President of India. Okay, so this is the President of India and this is the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, it is the duty of the Prime Minister, to inform President about the affairs of the COM. Okay, so it is the duty of the Prime Minister to inform President about what? About two things. First of all, about the affairs of COM, about the affairs of Council of Ministers, means what is going inside Council of Ministers. Okay, so it is the duty of the Prime Minister to inform the President of India about the affairs of Council of Ministers, means what is going inside Council of Ministers, and about the status of legislation, about the status of legislation in the parliament. Okay, so it is the duty of the Prime Minister of India to inform the President of India about the affairs of COM and about the status of legislation in the parliament. Now, what is the meaning of status of legislation? Status of legislation means on what stage a bill is in the parliament. For example, let's suppose a bill is passed by Lok Sabha and now bill is sent to Rajya Sabha. Okay, and in Rajya Sabha the voting is to be conducted. Okay, so status of bill means which bill is in which stage in parliament. Okay, for example, a bill is passed by Lok Sabha and the bill is sent to Rajya Sabha, and in Rajya Sabha now voting is to be conducted on the bill. So status of legislation means a bill is in which stage in parliament. So it is the duty of the Prime Minister of India. It is the duty of the Prime Minister of India to inform the President of India about the affairs of Council of Ministers and about the status of legislation in the parliament. Now friends, what we can conclude with the help of above discussion. Okay, so now I am asking you that what we can conclude with the help of above discussion. So friends, let's suppose this is Council of Ministers. Okay, this is Council of Ministers. This is Parliament. This is Parliament. And friends, let's suppose that this is the President of India. This is the President of India. So on the basis of the above discussion, we can conclude that Prime Minister of India acts as a link between President and COM and President and Parliament. Okay, so Prime Minister of India acts as a link. Prime Minister of India acts as a link between President and Council of Ministers and President and Parliament. So now if I will ask you that who is the link between Council of Ministers and President, then the answer is Prime Minister. And if I will ask you that who is the link between Parliament and President, then again the answer is the Prime Minister of India. So friends, this is the fifth power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, let's move further. So friends, I have told you that the cabinet, okay, that the cabinet of the country takes all the decisions for the country. Okay, so let's suppose that this is cabinet. Okay, let's suppose that this is cabinet, and these all green dots, they are the members of cabinet. They all are the members of cabinet. And this big red dot, he is the Prime Minister of India. Okay, so he is the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, I have told you that all the important decisions are taken by cabinet, all the important policies are made by cabinet, all the policies are made by cabinet, all the decisions are taken by cabinet, and all the bills which are to be laid down before the parliament are decided by the cabinet. Okay, now friends, my question is that let's suppose if the cabinet has made any policy. Okay, let's suppose if cabinet has made any policy, then who will announce this policy to the parliament? Okay, and the people of India, means to the country. Okay, so what is my question? Listen to my question carefully. My question is that if the cabinet has taken any important policy decision, means if cabinet has made any important policy, then who will announce this policy to the Parliament of India and who will announce this policy to the country? Means who will announce this policy to the parliament and who will tell about this policy to the people of the country? So the answer to both of these questions is the Prime Minister of India. Okay, so friends, Prime Minister of India announces all the policies in the parliament and to the people of India. Prime Minister of India announces all the policies made by cabinet to the Parliament of India as well as to the people of India. So friends, this is the sixth power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, here on the screen you can see a diagram, and in this diagram as usual this black rectangle is Council of Ministers, this small green rectangle is cabinet, and this big red dot is Prime Minister. Okay, all these green dots, who they are cabinet ministers, and all these black dots, who they are either Minister of State independent charge or deputy ministers. Now friends, Prime Minister has the power. Prime Minister has the power to call for any information from any ministry. Okay. Now what does it mean? So let's suppose, friends, let's suppose that this minister in the orange circle, let's suppose he is railway minister. Okay, so who is he? He is railway minister. Now friends, Prime Minister of India has the power to call him. Now what Prime Minister will do? Prime Minister will call him and Prime Minister can ask for any information from him. Prime Minister can ask him any information, and it is his duty to give all the information asked by Prime Minister to him. Okay, so Prime Minister has the power to ask any information from any minister. So let's suppose that this person, this is tourism minister. Okay, so who is he? He is tourism minister. Now Prime Minister of India can call him also. Okay, Prime Minister of India can call him and Prime Minister of India can ask for any information from him, and now it is his duty to tell all the information to the Prime Minister of India. Means Prime Minister has the right to know what is going inside all the ministries. Prime Minister can call any minister and ask for any information from them, but no other minister has this right. No other minister has this power other than Prime Minister. So only Prime Minister has the power to call any minister and ask for any relevant information from them. After that, friends, who is the boss of Council of Ministers? So Prime Minister is the boss of this entire body, Council of Ministers. Okay, so who is the boss of Council of Ministers? So the Prime Minister is the boss of this entire body known as Council of Ministers. So Prime Minister is the head of cabinet as well as he is the head of Council of Ministers. Now friends, let's suppose that this is a minister. Okay, for example, let us take the example of this minister. Okay, so this is a minister, and let's suppose he is related to defense ministry. Okay, so he is the defense minister of India. Now friends, let's suppose he has taken any decision regarding his ministry. Okay, for example, let's suppose he want to spend 1000 crore rupees for guns. Okay, so as he is defense minister, so he is responsible for the defense of the country, so he want to spend 1000 crore rupees for guns. But Prime Minister of India is of the opinion that no, more budget should be spent on guns. Why? Because definitely if we will have more quality weapons, if our guns are more advanced, then definitely we can defeat enemies easily in the battlefield. So PM is saying that no, you should spend 1500 crore rupees for the advanced guns. But he is saying no sir, only 1000 crores are enough. But PM is saying 1500 crore you should spend, but he is again saying no sir, these are enough, this much advancement, this much technology is enough. But Prime Minister is again and again saying that no, you should spend 1500 crore rupees and you should bring more technology, you should bring more advancement in the weapons so that our soldiers can easily defeat the other soldiers and terrorists. Okay, so friends, my question is that then whose decision will prevail? Prime Minister's decision or the decision of Prime Minister's decision or the decision of Defense Minister? So as I have told you that Prime Minister is the boss of Council of Ministers. So who is the boss? Prime Minister is the boss. Okay, and Prime Ministers say in any decision, the say of Prime Minister in any decision, any policy, any bill is final. Okay, so the say of Prime Minister is final regarding any decision, any policy or any bill. Okay, so if Prime Minister has said that 1500 crore rupees should be spent, so 1500 crore rupees will be spent on the advancement of the weapons. Now you will say how? So friends, Prime Minister has one tool, and that tool is given under Article 75 Clause 2. So in the yesterday's class, I have taught you about Article 75 Clause 2. So what is Article 75 Clause 2? So it is the individual responsibility of the ministers towards President. And I have also told you that President is bound by the advice of Prime Minister in this regard. So if any minister is not agreeing with the advice of Prime Minister, okay, so for example, let's suppose the Defense Minister is not agreeing with the advice of Prime Minister, then Prime Minister can even remove him from his post by using Article 75 Clause 2, means by using the tool of individual responsibility. So Prime Minister has the power to remove any minister if he is not agreeing agreeing with the saying of if he is not agreeing with the advice of Prime Minister. Okay, so this is the seventh administrative power or seventh power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, let's suppose that if cabinet, okay, so this is cabinet, so if cabinet has taken any decision, okay, now for example, okay, so as we know that cabinet takes all decisions, so let's suppose that cabinet has taken any decision and this particular minister, he is not agreed with the decision of the cabinet. Okay, so he is not agree with the decision of the cabinet, and I have explained you this concept in the previous class in detail. So now what Prime Minister will do? Now Prime Minister will call him and give him two options. That first option is that either you get agree with this, and second option is that you can resign. And if he will not get agree and he will not resign, then what Prime Minister can do? Then Prime Minister can remove him by using Article 75 clause 2. Okay, so Prime Minister can even remove him by using Article 75 clause 2. Now friends, here our main motive is to discuss about the power of the Prime Minister. So now what conclusion we can made with the help of this story? So with the help of this story, we can say that if a particular minister is not agreed with the collective decision of Council of Ministers, then Prime Minister can even force that minister. Prime Minister can force that minister to get agree with the collective decision of the Council of Ministers. And even if that minister is not getting agree, then Prime Minister even has the power to remove that minister. Okay, so for example friends, now let's suppose after Prime Minister has given him two options, so let's suppose if he has agreed that okay sir, I am agree with the decision. So if he has agreed, then what will happen? Then definitely then we can say that now all the ministers are agree with the decision. So if all the ministers are agree with the decision, then this is the collective decision of Council of Ministers. So now what will happen? Now Council of Ministers can be held responsible towards Lok Sabha collectively. Okay, now Council of Ministers can be collectively held responsible towards Lok Sabha for that decision. Now what is the second option? So if he will resign or Prime Minister will remove him. Okay, so then there are two conditions, that either he will resign himself or Prime Minister can remove him using Article 75 clause 2. Then also he will be removed from Council of Ministers, and all the other ministers are already agreed with the decision. So again we can say that as all the ministers are agreed with the decision, means this decision is taken by all the ministers. So now this is a collective decision. So now again Council of Ministers can be held collectively responsible towards Lok Sabha for the decision. So on the basis of the above story, we can conclude that it is the Prime Minister who ensures the collective responsibility of Council of Ministers towards Lok Sabha. Okay, so it is the Prime Minister who ensures the collective responsibility of Council of Ministers towards Lok Sabha. Okay, so who ensures the collective responsibility? Prime Minister of India ensures or brings the collective responsibility of Council of Ministers towards Lok Sabha. So this is the eighth power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, here on the screen you are again seeing the diagram of Council of Ministers. This green rectangle is cabinet and this big red dot is Prime Minister. But now this time there are two extra things. This pink big dot. Now what is this pink big dot? Let's suppose this is Finance Minister. Okay, so what is this pink big dot? Let's suppose that pink big dot is Finance Minister. And what is this black big dot? Let's suppose that big black dot is Health Minister. Okay, so this is Health Minister and this is Finance Minister. Now friends, let's suppose that Health Minister is saying that this year I need 2000 crore rupees. Okay, so we are here just taking a hypothetical example that Health Minister is saying that I need 2000 crore rupees for the health related facilities. For example, for constructing the hospitals, for giving salary to staff, for spending on medicines. Okay, because this year the health of the people is not good. So actually, according to my estimates, according to my experience, I need more money this year. What Finance Minister is saying? So the Finance Minister is saying that, sir, I do not have this much amount of money. I can only give 1500 crore rupees to health ministry. Okay, because entire funds, who is the in charge of the funds? So finance minister is the in charge of the funds. So finance minister is saying that I can only give 1500 crore rupees to health ministry. This is the maximum limit. Okay, this is the maximum which I can give from my end to health ministry. Okay, so now they what they both will do? Definitely they both will now start fighting. Now health minister will say, no, I need 2000 crore, otherwise people will suffer, because people are not healthy this year. There are many diseases. But finance ministry is saying, sir, we have to invest on economy, we have to invest on defense, and there are many other sectors. So now what they will do? Now both of them will start fighting with each other. Now friends, it is the Prime Minister of India who will resolve their fight. Okay, so now what Prime Minister will say? Prime Minister will say that now let's come to me and I will see your problem. Okay, so now let's suppose this is Prime Minister. Okay, this is Prime Minister, and this one is Health Minister, and this one is Finance Minister. Okay, so now Finance Minister will say to Prime Minister that, sir, he is unnecessarily fighting with me. I cannot give him that much amount of money. And Health Minister is saying that, sir, we are very much concerned about the health of our people. Human resource is the most important resource, and moreover our government is a welfare government, so we need to spend more amount of money for the health of people. Okay, because health is everything. So now what Prime Minister will say? That Prime Minister will Prime Minister will listen to the arguments of both of them. Okay, and now Prime Minister will resolve the conflict between both of these ministries. For example, now Prime Minister can say that now Finance Minister has to allot a budget of 1800 crores to the health ministry. Okay, so what Prime Minister said to Finance Minister? That you have to manage 300 crore more. Okay, that you have to manage 300 crore more for the health ministry. Okay, and what Prime Minister will say to health minister? That you have to manage with 200 crore less amount. Okay, so you have to do your planning in such a smart manner that you can give a performance of 2000 crore in only 1800 crore. Okay, so what we can conclude with the help of this entire story? So we can conclude with the help of this entire story that if there is any conflict between different ministries, if there is any conflict between different ministers, then who will resolve that conflict? Okay, so definitely, for example, this is ministry 1 and this is ministry 2. So if there is any conflict between them, if there is any fight between them, who will resolve that? So it is the Prime Minister of India who will listen to both the sides and he will pass his judgment. Okay, he will pass his judgment and he will resolve the conflict between both the ministers, and this judgment of Prime Minister is binding on both the ministers. Why? Because Prime Minister has the tool of individual responsibility under Article 75 clause 2. So if any minister will not agree with the advice of Prime Minister, then Prime Minister can even remove him. So Prime Minister will resolve the conflict between them and the decision of Prime Minister will be binding on them. So friends, on the basis of the above discussion, we can conclude that it is the Prime Minister who brings intra-governmental cooperation. Okay, so it is the Prime Minister who brings intra-governmental cooperation. Intra-governmental cooperation means cooperation within Council of Ministers, cooperation within government. Why? Because I have told you that Council of Ministers is government. So it is the Prime Minister who brings cooperation between different ministries. Who brings cooperation between different ministries means he brings intra-governmental cooperation, means cooperation within the government. Okay, so friends, this is the 9th power of the Prime Minister of India. Now friends, on the basis of all the above discussion in today's class, what we can conclude? We can conclude that Prime Minister is the most important political person in the parliamentary form of government. Okay, so Prime Minister is the most important political person in the parliamentary form of government. So friends, now we can conclude that second school of thought means Prime Minister is the chief stone of the arc called as Council of Ministers. Okay, so now we can conclude that second school of thought was right, and Prime Minister is very very important as compared to other ministers. Other ministers are neither as powerful nor as important than Prime Minister, and Prime Minister is the most important minister, most powerful ministers, and most powerful political person in the parliamentary form of government. So this is the conclusion regarding the powers and position of the Prime Minister of India. Friends, this content is highly mains exclusive, so now you have to read the notes. I will provide the link of notes in the description of the video, and you can also download the link from my website prashanties.com. So now you have to read the notes and you have to think about it so that you can write a good answer in mains. Okay, so this is a highly mains oriented question. So if in your paper you will get a question regarding the Prime Minister of India, regarding the powers and the position of Prime Minister of India, then I can guarantee that you will definitely get an edge over the other candidates, because this discussion is highly analytical. Okay, so if you will write all the points, if you will write all the points smartly which I have taught you, then definitely you will get extra marks, you will get an edge over the other competitors, over the other candidates, and the chances of your selection will increase, because this is very analytical and definitely very good content. So friends, that's all for today. I hope that you all must have enjoyed the lecture, and if you have enjoyed the lecture, please like the video, comment, subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon and select all. Friends, you can download the link, notes from the link given in description, and you can directly visit my website www.prashanties.com, and from there also you can download the notes. So friends, now we will meet in next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you.